So, y'all ready to see some pretty unethical shit? So, let's just say we're fighting a team that is pretty much nothing but HP bruisers, and they're just there to annoy the ever-loving fuck shit out of you with a whole bunch of, hey, I have big HP, I do big damage because of my big HP. Well, here is my argument for Urban Shadow Choux probably being the best injury unit in the entire fucking game. Hey, there's DDR. What do you need with him? You need to have effectiveness, and you need to actually be able to get your stuff off, and you also need to have FRES in case you don't want to get controlled or whatever the fuck with that. Urban Shadow Choux, yo, that bitch just works. Like, it just works. Because the injury is tied to bzzzt, which is on her kit, and the only way you can ever not have bzzzt is if you have unbuffable. Period. It's the only thing that can really even stop her from injuring you. So, we're going into a Krau, a Belian, and an Apocalypse Ravi. And so what I decided to do is, well, what if we just go ahead and bring two healers, one to bait the Apocalypse Ravi, because that's always like an issue anytime you're fighting Apocalypse Ravi on defense, and then Roana, basically just in case the Belian is on counter set. Because usually Belian's on injury, but hey, let's just say, just in case, we're fighting a counter-set Belian. This one's actually on injury, so we didn't really need Roana for this. But hey, I always go into a lot of this with next to no information. Well, that's not technically true. We'll get into that a little later. But basically, we're going in with Urban Shadow Choux. It's barely been 12 turns, and the entire team is injured to fucking back. And Belian is dead. So, now that Belian's dead, we only have one other real obstacle to deal with, and that's Krau. And it's a matter of, did I deal enough injury damage to him so that I don't actually lose my one unit that he could go for? Which, straight up, a lot of these attacks that these guys were going for was Urban Shadow Choux when everybody was at full HP. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Pretty unlucky whenever that happens. But hey, whatever. That's just the way in which it goes. Because like Krau went into her like twice, I think, when everybody was at full HP. Whatever. It's either between Urban Shadow Choux or Doris. I lost those coin flips, I think, like 2 times. Whatever. But that's like the good thing about Urban Shadow Choux. Straight up, we were like provoked. And we were still doing absolutely detrimental, very unethical shit to this team. So this is like my biggest argument for, yo, why the hell is there still no actual counter to injury? And I only say that in the sense that if you're fighting Urban Shadow Choux, how do you fight that? If you don't want to take any injury whatsoever, you cleave it, right? Okay, so that's the only real way that I fight it. You know, whenever I see Urban Shadow Choux, I pull out Midnight Gala Lilias because that's literally the only like fast and like tank busting unit that I have. Because Urban Shadow Choux's bound to have a lot of HP, and she's also going to be fast. Basically, she's going to be built like Lethe. And that's like really the big thing that kind of like fucks with me whenever it comes to Urban Shadow Choux. Like, we have barely been in this for not even like 30 or so turns. Actually, it's been like a little over 30. Like 42 or whatever. We're already done. And we basically did that with one DPS unit with no DPS and all injury. So now we're going into this team right here. So this is a little bit embarrassing on my part, but hey, it should really show that, Arbiter, Vildred, and Landy and Fallen CC teams are still actually a thing. And if you go into them with disrespect, you very well may get your shit pushed in. So, first things and foremost, I thought I legit had this in the bag. Hence why I make my first mistake here. I go for the Soul Burn on Last Rider Krau because I got that counterattack from Milim. So because I got that counterattack from Milim, oh shit, I have fucking attack buff. I should straight up kill this thing. I didn't fucking kill this thing. So now that we've not killed Arbiter Vildred and we do not have a means of extinction on Milim, we now have to fucking just deal with him. So now I have to just change all of my direction, and I have to start going for the Landy now. Because if I don't start going for the Landy, then I'm probably going to end up losing some units here. So I go for yet another Soul Burn, LRKS3, just to do as much damage as humanly possible to the Landy. If I had a Soul Burn on my Milim now would be a really good time to use it into the Landy, just to, guarantee a little bit of damage. We do not get it. And then, hey, looky here, dual attack. Hey, look, it's Landy's turn again. Look at all that CR push. And it was like right around here, I was like, you know what? We only needed to have one win on one side. So I'm not even going to take this fucking risk, because we're going to be capped at 520 Havoc anyway, and it doesn't really matter if I were to win or lose this. So like, okay, we'll just cut our losses here. I'm a fucking hack, and I'm bad at the video game. So, moving on, let's go ahead and see here. We have... Goddamn, I can't even remember here. I know it's Ran, and probably some Senya shit, because I have Lune, Crescent, Bellona. So yeah, it's Apocalypse, Ravi, Senya, and Ran. So what I decided to do is, well, let's go ahead and bring Mediator, Kawerik, Lone Crescent, Bellona, and then we're also going to try out Rule of Light. I usually bring, like, you know, Magic Color Doris into stuff like this because we're dealing with an Apocalypse Ravi, but my plan was to see if I could deal enough damage over time to basically injure the Apocalypse Ravi with my Lone Crescent Bellona. Because my Lone Crescent Bellona is on an injury set, hopefully I should be able to just power through and actually kill the entire team. Case in point, we get our first AoE with Lone Crescent Bellona. The Ran is straight up already almost dead. So first, let's go ahead and we'll reinforce with some HP on our Rule, because if we lose Rule, we're straight up fucked. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We're going to be straight up fucked if Rule's dead. We go for the S2 with Mediator Kawerik on the Ran. That was an RNL Ran, so he was meant to go like absolutely fucking batshit crazy. He only got one RNL extra proc turn. Didn't really help him out too much. So hey, cool. We take him out of the game. And here, I decide not to go for any and all like extra hits on the Senya, because I don't really want to deal with any extra additional damage via the counterattack that's going to be going into us, because we only have one form of heal, and that is Rule of Light. Her S3 and S2 are kind of important, and you want to make sure you have those at all times. So I decided to go for a Soul Burn S3 with Lone Crescent Bellona on the Apocalypse Ravi, mainly to get through the barrier, do as much damage as possible, and to also hit that big, huge, chunky injury on her. Thankfully for us, she is damn near almost dead, and because we also just did the S3, we have Vigor on us too. So because we have Vigor, now we have, like, you know, a little baby attack buff with us. And I take this opportunity, we'll do a little heal on Mediator Kawerik. We're still managing to stay relatively healthy with only one single use, like, you know, single target healer, that being Rule of Light. And we have our great cleanser Mediator Kawerik on the team, which that Senya has a shitload of effectiveness, because I don't have the most F-res on my Rule, but it was enough to where it should, you know, break some of the bullshit. So she easily has, like, over 100. Now, right here, the A-Ravi's just low enough, bam, she's out. So now, we're down to just Senya. And Senya, in a 1v3 situation with Lone Crescent Bellona with attack buff, a Mediator Kawerik with big old chunky barriers, and a healer that is Rule of Light with a immunity giver Mediator Kawerik on the team, well damn bitch, I think you're just rather fucked. So that's pretty much what's going to happen. We're just waiting until we get to that extra turn for Lone Crescent Bellona to come around, because that's what sucks about my Lone Crescent Bellona. Mine is slow as balls. It really, really kind of sucks, but hey, we don't even get the opportunity to kill her with Lone Crescent Bellona, because the dual attack from our oh-so-wonderful support units was just enough to kill her. Yay! Now, onto this fun match. So, this is Conqueror Lilias, Navy Captain Landy, and Rimuru himself. So, we already have, like, 2 units that are guaranteed going to be coming. Conqueror Lilias is straight up scared shitless of Moon Bunny Dominiel, because Moon Bunny Dominiel, after she got her buffs, this unit is absolutely crazy into any AI formatting for, like, Conqueror Lilias. You can start to really just disrespect these teams in a lot of ways. Here, your options are still kind of limited because you're going into a Rimuru. And I don't know about you, but if I'm going into a Rimuru, I'm going to be utilizing that AI in any way possible to fight that shit. Because if a Rimuru can go into any unit he wants, he's probably going to fucking kill you. So that's why Krau's there. He's there strictly to bait the Rimuru, and I brought ML Ken basically just to see, hey, my ML Ken's still kind of mid. He doesn't really have a lot of defensive stats, but can we actually go through this and fuck some motherfuckers up? Hey, yo, guys, we fucked some motherfuckers up. So this is the oh-so-wonderful power of having max crit damage and a lot of attack, but this is the thing that sucks about my ML Ken. I don't have a lot of bulk on this bad boy. And it's really like one of the worst things about him. Because straight up, MLK got some really good buffs, man, but he still requires some pretty damn good gear. Probably a really, really strong destruction set with some decent ER and like a lot of defense and some HP, which I don't have. Next. So this is actually kind of interesting. So not very often I see a top model Luluca on defense. So what I decide to do is, hey, we'll go ahead and we'll bait that with Spirit Eye Celine. We'll also have Yulha on the team, who's on a protection set, so then we get a nice big old chunky barrier. And I don't give a fuck. Those are two really, really big hits that are going into me. Those two big hits aren't going to be enough to absolutely kill me whenever I have a barrier and I have damage limit on my kit, which is Spirit Eye Celine. And then, of course, there's also Savior Adin on the field. Anytime I see Savior Adin, I don't even fuck around with that shit anymore. I always bring Dark Corvus to that. I used to bring things like, you know, Zahak into Savior Adin's. But you guys know me. My gear is unfathomably shit whenever it comes to speed. So I don't even play that game with Savior Adin. And of course, because he also brought, like, you know, Lilias with him, yeah, I ain't gonna fuck with that. Why would I want to bring Zahak into that shit? Nah, it's alright. So, right here, we're able to get our first real hit onto the top model Luluca. She has really taken a lot of damage, and then straight up kills herself whenever she is forced into a dual attack scenario into the Yulha, and she kills herself with reflect damage. Yay! Ain't that just fucking sweet? And then we've also built up our Devil's Descent, and there's only one unit that I really see worth going into, that being Savior Adin. We'll just soul burn that, delete that, and now all we have left is Lilias. Well, we just so happen to take enough damage on our Yulha. Let's go for that S3 and Shazam! Don't you just love it when a nice little counter cleave comes together? And now, I decided to fight this very same team again. So, the first time I fought this, it was actually looking like I could have probably lost. So, this was all simply for experimentation purposes. For starters, the big thing that I could have done that would have actually been a very smart thing to do is to not use Moon Bunny Dominiel's S3 here, and instead use any other attack. This would have then baited the Rimuru, and then he would have gone into my Krau now. Because if he would have done that, then I would have been, you know, hit really, really, really hard. And I could have also, like, horsed into something. But of course, then you're also not taking, like, you still have skill null, so you wouldn't be taking as much damage. Whatever. So I decided, oh, fuck it. Let's just go through this the same way we did before. And here is where things get a little funky. So, this is a Navy Captain Landy that is actually on injury set. And the Navy Captain Landy is really, really strong. Because the Rimuru stole the attack buff from my Moon Bunny Dominiel whenever he, like, you know, was doing his shenanigans that Rimuru does. Kinda sucks, because I took a lot of fucking damage, a counterattack there, and then another attack there. Hey, lol, Ken's fucking dead. Fortunately for us, we've already dealt with the Rimuru, and we have already died on Krau, but we have Holy Sack, so it's time to go ahead and unleash the horse. Clop, 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 and Shazam! That bitch is dead. So now we are 100% in the clear. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take for us to get to our turn so we can use Krau's S3 yet again. So the big thing that we want to do is we want to see if we can manage to put the Conqueror Lilias to sleep, any opportunities that Moon Bunny Dominiel either gets, or if we can provoke the Conqueror Lilias with any and all S1s or pushbacks with the S2s from Krau. We happen to get a pushback here, and then we also put her to sleep here. So, that's one turn skip. And then we have a horse here. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. Oh, fuck. So, that was a top 100 guild war with a guild that I can't pronounce. Something Chinese, Japanese, Asian, something or another, and it was rather painful. So, remember whenever I was saying how I don't really get a lot of information going into these guilds? I actually got information on this one. That very last fight was the fight I was going to do first. But then I was immediately warned, oh, hey, watch out, that Navy Captain Landy is on injury. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll fight that last. And lo and behold, the fight that I fought first, which I thought was going to be free, was the one I lost against, and the one that I was expecting was going to be the hardest was... it was okay. Like, it was alright. But, hey, in other news, ladies and gents, it looks like our boy Kane came out. And the consensus currently is, Kane fucking sucks. I was hoping he would be good, or at least he would, like, you know, be functional in Rift, but it turns out, he's kind of fucking bad. So here's hoping that Smilegate will decide to buff him sometime soon, because, yo, it's a real travesty to have a character as damn well cool as Kane is just damn near useless, and is only useful in Rift, a form of content that is going to be changing in like 4 to 6 months, and then you'll just straight up like never use him again for like another year. You know what I mean? It's just kind of fucking stupid, in my opinion. But like, hey, whatever. We'll see whatever they decide to do. Like, honestly, he does really, really need a buff. He feels weak as shit. Like, that's like the biggest problem that I feel with him, because I have that sumbitch on a rage set, and it's just like, yo, where's the damage? I just don't even see it. But hey, looky there. It looks like we're already out of time. If you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If you want to see more of my content, go ahead and hit subscribe. Makes me happy. Later.